Hello, tropical fish keepers. Welcome to the very first Tropical Fish Keepers Q&A of 2022. I'm your host, South American fish keeper and monster fish hobbyist, Aqua Alex Cardinale. I'm ready to answer your tropical fish keeping questions today. I apologize for the late start. I've been having some technical issues, but it looks like we are fixed now and we are ready to rock and roll on the first Fish Keepers Q&A of 2022. I've got an action-packed show coming your way tonight. Tonight, I'm going to answer each and every single one of your tropical fish keeping questions, whether they are freshwater or saltwater. I am personally going to ask you some fish keeping questions that I can't wait to see your answers. I'm also going to have some interesting aquarium topics tonight. I'm going to talk about some cool African oddball tropical fish species that I want to keep. I'm going to talk about some of the best freshwater algae eaters out there. I'm going to talk about the best tropical fish keeping YouTubers, in my opinion. And I'm also going to announce the fish keeping guest for my biggest party of the year, my 8-year YouTube anniversary. All that and more on this fun, action-packed Fish Keepers Q&A, the very first of 2022. So let's get started. I'm going to remind all of my live viewers and everybody that's watching this video, whether you're watching me live or you're watching the replay of this video, if you have tropical fish questions that you want me to answer, post them in the comments or come ask them virtually and be on the video. I want to personally answer your tropical fish questions, and I can only do so if you post them in the comments, in the chat room, or you come ask me live on the studio. Now, to join me on the studio and ask tropical fish questions or answer my questions, all you need to do is click this link, which is in the YouTube description, the Facebook description, as well as in the YouTube chat. So click that link to join me virtually and ask your question. Of course, that only applies to live viewers, but if you're watching a replay of this Fish Keepers Q&A, just post your questions in the comments and I will answer them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start the very first Fish Keepers Q&A of 2022 with my Aqua Alex Ask You segment. These are the questions that I want to hear your answers to, and I look forward to hearing your answers. So my first question, what are your plans for the aquarium hobby in 2022? What new fish species do you want to keep in 2022? What did 2021 teach you as an aquarium hobbyist? Please post your answers in the comments or in the YouTube chat, or come join me virtually to give me your answers. So while I wait for your questions and your answers, I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions myself. So the first question, what are my plans for the aquarium hobby in 2022? Well, my first plan is to upgrade the fish that I have in my 75-gallon aquarium to a 180-gallon aquarium, or a 210-gallon aquarium, or even a 125 if I can't find a 180 or 210 in my price range. That's the first plan, and it's the most important plan because I have a lot of fish in my 75-gallon aquarium. I've got my gold wolfish, I've got my black wolfish, I've got all my severums, I've got chocolate cichlids, two of them. I've got a couple of red hooks, I've got a Schomburgki silver dollar, which is an orange black bar that has an orange cheek. I've got vulture cats, I've got a whole plethora of fish species that could use the space. Now, luckily, today I filed my taxes, and my taxes are going to be here within 2 or 3 weeks. So that means in 2 or 3 weeks, I am going to purchase a new aquarium. It's either going to be a 125, a 180, or a 210-gallon aquarium, which would be a massive upgrade for my fish that are currently living in a 75-gallon aquarium. Once those fish are upgraded to a much larger aquarium with good filtration systems, I'm looking at using a canister filter as well as some high quality hang on the back filters like the Chem tidal filters. Those are awesome. That tank is going to look awesome. It's going to be where I sleep at night, and it's going to be my new display aquarium where I will film each episode of Aqua Alex Live. So once that tank is up and running, I then turn my attention to the 75-gallon aquarium. And in the 75-gallon aquarium, I'm going to turn that into somewhat of a predator community aquarium where I'm going to keep some of my personal favorite African species and some of the African species that I'm not familiar with and that I really want to keep. And then from there, we'll see what 2022 brings. You never know what a year is going to bring. I always go by the motto, expect the unexpected. Maybe I'll come across some winnings and win the lotto, and maybe I can pick up more tanks and do axolotls and a saltwater aquarium again, but we shall see. But realistically, I'm going to say that in 2022, my plans is going to be to upgrade my fish to the 6 foot aquarium, which I'm going to be doing in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and turn my 75-gallon aquarium into an African display aquarium. And I'm going to talk about some of the cool African oddballs that I would like to keep in the future in just a moment here. So the next question that I am asking you that you can answer, what new fish species do I want to keep in 2022? First up, I would say would be a Fahaka puffer, also a MBU puffer. Now, I love puffers, but I've only honestly kept saltwater puffers. As a loyal subscriber, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you're going to know that I kept dogface puffers, I've had porcupine puffers, I've had stars and stripes puffers, and I've had a manila puffer, but never did I have the experience of having a true freshwater puffer, and I'm looking forward to that. So I want to have a Fahaka puffer and maybe a MBU puffer. Now, the thing about freshwater puffers is that it could be kind of hard to have tank mates with your puffers, but I'm going to do some research on that and learn as much as I can about the Fahaka puffer and the NBU puffer. Another fish species that I want to keep in 2022 that I really haven't kept before, my dad had one, but I never did, is the West African lungfish or the South American lungfish. That is a pretty cool, interesting creature. Another fish species that I'd like to keep in 2022. I tried in 2020 but had no success because I lost them because they're somewhat docile and fragile. I'd like to try the panda waru. The panda waru is a gorgeous South American cichlid, and I definitely want to try that. I also want to try Hero's libifier, the mouth brooding sevrum. I have kept many variants of sevrums and many different species of sevrums, but I've never had the opportunity to experience the mouth brooding sevrum. I also want to keep the other species of chocolate cichlid, and there's a whole plethora of other species of fish that I want to keep in 2022. Another one that comes to mind is a fish that I have coming in tomorrow from Aquatic Rarities. It's a fish I never had before, and it's a striped gar cherison. So it's not an actual gar, it's a cherison, and I've never had that before. So I think that would be an interesting fish to keep. And I also got a pink-tailed Celsius coming in tomorrow, but we'll talk about aquatic rarities a little bit later on in the show. And the last question that I'm asking you guys and that I'm going to answer is, what did 2021 teach you as an aquarium hobbyist? For me personally, 2021 taught me that there are still good people in the aquarium hobby. I've made a lot of friends in 2021 that are fish keepers that love my YouTube channel and love my fish keeping content. For example, I met Big Tank Hank, who's doing a great job here on YouTube. I have to give him a high five. He's a great guy. I watch his live streams and he does an amazing job. So thank you, Big Tank Cake. I'm glad we met, and I'm glad you watched my channel, and I'm glad to represent and watch your channel. There's also Logan, who is Logan Aquatics, who is also a fellow fish keeping YouTuber. I met him. We became friends, and I watched some of his content as well. Another thing that 2021 taught me as an aquarium hobbyist is that you can't believe every information that you get on the internet. For example, websites will tell you and people will tell you that wolffish cannot have tank mates. So far, that is proving to be false because I've got a gold wolffish and a black wolffish that keep to themselves and they never ever go out of their way to cause any trouble with their take mates. They're very eager eaters. They will jump in front of the other fish to get the tilapia pieces or the market shrimp or the earthworms. But other than that, when I have the lights on, and even at nighttime, they stay exclusively to their plant or their cave or the driftwood. The gold wolffish will stay at the top of the aquarium, swimming back and forth sometimes, but the black wolf is only active during feeding time. So I only see him when I throw in the pieces of meat, and like a piranha and a shark, he smells that he comes out. But unlike piranhas, these are relatively peaceful and they keep to themselves. However, if I was to throw small fish in there that could fit in their mouth, you can bet your bottom dollar they would be eaten in an instant and they would be lunch. So it's always important to remember with predatory fish that if you put them in with fish that are equal size and fish that are too big to be eaten, you're going to have success. So that is what 2021 taught me. Don't believe all the information online because your experience may be a lot different than the next person's experience, and your experience might be a whole lot better than somebody else's. All right. So now it is your turn to answer my questions and also ask me any tropical fish keeping questions that you have. All right. So right now we're going to get into my first fish keeping topic, and that is some of the African oddballs that I would like to keep in the future. So here are some of the cool African oddballs I want to keep. Some of these species I've had a couple years ago, and I want to keep them again. And some of them I've never had. So here are the cool African oddball tropical fish species I would like to keep and experience yet again or for the first time. The first one is Polypterus endlachari or Enly biker. I've never successfully kept this species of biker. Each one I bought either got eaten or died for some various reason. But I definitely want to keep one of them. They are a very beautiful species of Polypterus. They look just like Oscar the Grouch, I think his name is. Very, very nice fish. Again, this is the Emla Cherry Biker. You can see how awesome they look. They're also called the Saddleback Biker because they do have a saddleback that makes them look pretty cool. I'd love to have a Enly Biker again and the Saddleback Biker once again. I've never had success keeping them. Next up is the Oronite Polypterus. Now, I've had success keeping this species. This is a very gorgeous species of Polypterus, and it grows to about 18 inches. So it stays a little bit smaller than the Enly and some of the other large growing Polypterus out there. So it is perfect for a 6-foot aquarium. They've got interesting markings. They look like a dinosaur, and they're very hardy. So I would like to get an Oronate biker once again. Pretty cool fish in my book. So I think that would be wonderful if I get the opportunity to get an Oronate biker once again. All right. So the next species I have is another species of Polypterus that I've never had before, and that is the Lepraldi. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Polypterus laprada. I don't know. I'm butchering the scientific name here, but I don't want to embarrass myself any further. But it's a species of biker that grows really large, and it's a pretty cool fish. And all I know is it starts with an L. So pretty cool biker. When I see one that's a manageable size that will do good in my aquarium, I will get one for sure. So moving away from bikers, I'm going to go to my next African fish species that I find cool and that I want to keep, and that is the elephant nose. The elephant nose is a electrical fish species that have electric organs, just like the electric eel. This is a very interesting fish. They eat bloodworms and blackworms and brine shrimp and myestes shrimp, and they're a very interesting fish. So, a pretty cool fish. Sorry, I had to get some a drink of soda there. My mouth is getting dry. But the elephant nose fish, very cool South American, or excuse me, very cool African oddball that I hope to have. And I want to keep a group of them in my 75-gallon aquarium. This is a much, this is an adult version of the elephant nose fish. As you can see, it's a very gorgeous fish. All right. So when we're talking about African oddballs, we don't think of things that stay small because most predatory fish get large. However, in this case, there is a species of fish that is in the family of arowanas. It does not grow as huge as the silver arrow or the Giardini or the Lachardi or any of those arowanas, but it grows to be about 8 to 10 inches in length. Sometimes a little bit less. I'd say 6 to 8 inches, but in the wild it could reach 8 to 10 inches. And that is the African butterfly fish. As you can see, this is a very gorgeous looking fish, and it has a unique appearance to it. I really like the appearance of the African butterfly fish. Never kept them before, but I think they would look good in a tank with elephant nose and polypterus. That would be a sight to see. So we'll definitely have to make that happen in my 75-gallon aquarium. Up next, we've got the West African lungfish. Isn't that fish a beauty? The face only a mother could love. But I love lungfish, and I definitely want the experience of keeping and raising a West African lungfish. Very, very cool. So I've been throwing around the idea of attempting to do a juvenile West African lungfish, Peter's elephant nose fish, maybe like four, five, six of them, African butterfly fish, and some Polypterus in my 75-gallon aquarium. And as the Polypterus get bigger, like the Enly, the Oronate, and the other species that I mentioned that I had a hard time mentioning, and even the lungfish, once they get bigger, I can move them into my 6 foot aquarium with my South Americans and just keep the African butterfly and the Peter's elephant nose together. But very cool. I have one final African oddball that I want to keep. It is not a fish species, but it's an aquatic amphibian, and it's very popular in the aquarium hobby, and that is the African clawed frog. When my dad was keeping community fish, he had he had dwarf African frogs. But I like things that get large, so I want to keep African clawed frogs. So I'll probably set up a 40-gallon breeder exclusively for African clawed frogs when I live on my own or when we own our own house. I will make that happen. So those are some cool African oddballs that I want to keep in the near future. All right. So now I'll wait for some of your tropical fish questions as well as your answers to my segment, Aqua Alex Ask You. I'm having a blast so far here on the first Fish Keepers Q&A of 2022. You guys got to see a couple of bloopers already. You got to see my mispronunciation of the biker species that I was interested in. And then I'm having like a nervous breakdown here. My throat is getting dry and I'm coughing. So that's my very first blooper. But we're live, and that's what happens on live broadcast. I don't edit out anything. So that we'll just have to deal with. So again, if you're watching this video live or you're watching the replay of this video, if you have tropical fish questions that you want me to answer, post them in the comments or come ask them virtually and be on the video. I want to answer your fish questions, so post them in the comments or come join me virtually to ask your questions. We've got my friend Ricky DeHejos in the house. And Ricky says, hey man, how's it going? It is going great. I'm having a fabulous time here on my first Fish Keepers Q&A. I had a great day today. Today I placed an order with Aquatic Rarities, aka Malone's Monsters, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on this month's Q&A. But I am doing phenomenal, so thank you very much for asking. So hopefully we'll get some tropical fish questions coming in that I can answer, because you guys know I love answering tropical fish questions. All right. While we wait for some questions and some answers to my questions, let's move on to my next segment. And my next segment is going to be on what I think are the best freshwater algae eaters. I think these are the best freshwater algae eaters because they do the better job at eating algae. They are more proficient at eating algae than, let's say, the common suckerfish, which is the Plecostomus. Now, don't get me wrong, a juvenile Plecostomus is good at taking care of algae, but as the common Plecostomus grows, its diet is going to change. It's going to need more veggies in its diet and more meat in its diet. But in its juvenile stage, the common Plecostomus is a good algae eater. But right now, let me talk about my favorite and what I think is the best freshwater algae eaters out there. And right now, I am very fortunate that I own a trio of the first species that I'm going to mention, and that is the flagtail Prochulotus, Sema Prochulotus. Now, what you're looking at right now is one of my three flagtail Prochulotus. He is the first of the three that I have. All of them are about 5 to 6 inches at least. And I got all three of my flagtail Prochulotus from Tangled Up In Cichlids.com. So if you're looking for flagtail Prochulotus, I know Kevin at TangledUpInCichlids.com gets them in frequently. And also my buddy Bob from Aquatic Rarities, formerly known as Malone's Monsters. He gets them in all the time, and he actually has them in stock right now. What I like about flagtail Prochulotus is that they are a they are a prolific. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They do a great job at eating algae. They do a superb job at eating all types of algae, whether it be green algae, brown algae, or even diatoms. I've seen flagtail Prochulotus eat them. They'll also eat flake food and other vegetable matter, and they'll also pick on meaty foods. I've seen my flagtails eating pieces of shrimp and tilapia, which is why they're putting on size so fast. They're getting a lot of protein in their diet, but I also provide my flagtails with some nori, which is seaweed. Normally, they would not have that in the wild, but that is putting a lot of protein in them, making them get some nutrients and putting some size on the flagtails, which is what you want with a fish as beautiful as the flagtail Prochulotus. The next best algae eater is a fish I've only had the opportunity to keep and raise once, and that is when I had a community aquarium. And it's a shame because this fish is gorgeous, even though it's a nano type fish, and that is the Otocinclus. The Otocinclus is perhaps the greatest algae eater that stays under the size of 3 inches. It goes great in neon tetra aquariums, guppy aquariums, rummy nose tetra aquariums, and generally tanks smaller than 40 gallons because this fish does not get large and it will devour any type of algae and it'll do a great job with that as well. And the Otocinclus, they are a schooling algae eater, so you're going to want to get a lot of them to make sure that they're doing a great job and taking care of the algae problem that you have in your aquarium. Up next, we've got the Siamese algae eater. I've heard that they're pretty good algae eaters. They eat bearded algae and some of the more hard to remove algae that are out there. So the Siamese algae eater, very cool fish. I think it's also known as the flying fox, but I've never kept them and I never personally dealt with them, so I can't give you an answer on this algae eater. Up next, we've got an algae eater that can be considered to be a pain in the ass, and that is the Chinese algae eater. But the Chinese algae eater can be pretty good at doing its job at taking care of algae. But once there's no more algae in the aquarium, the Chinese algae eater can and will start sucking off the slime coat of your fish, like cichlids, tetras, barbs. So you want to keep an eye on that. The Chinese algae eater I would recommend as a last resort for algae eating. They grow to be about 8 to 10 inches in length, and they generally only eat algae until they reach 5 inches, and then they start eating other foods. And the last algae eater I would recommend is the common pleco. You could also try a gibby pleco or a sailfin pleco, which is more attractive in my opinion. They do good eating algae, but as they grow, their diet changes. As I mentioned earlier, they become more dependent on vegetable matter and protein, like pellets, and they also will eat meat. So they're not really a true algae eater or a sucker fish because as they mature, they need a balanced diet and they just won't eat algae all their lives, like a flagtail Prussian lotus would or a Odocinculus or the Siamese algae eater would. All right, so those are the best freshwater algae eaters in my personal opinion. So now I await your questions and your answers to my Ask Aqua Alex or Aqua Alex Ask You. Damn technical issues took away some of my live viewers. But hey, it happens when you do live broadcast. You run into some technical issues, but we'll be perfect on our next Q&A, right? And I have something to announce about the next Q&A towards the end of today's episode. All right. So right now I'm going to move on to my next topic, and I'm very excited to announce my first two special fish keeping guests on my 8-year YouTube anniversary. So I announced it last week on Facebook, but now I am officially letting the cat out of the bag. My first guest on my 8-year YouTube anniversary will be my friend Bob, who is the owner and founder of Aquatic Rarities, formerly known as Malone's Monsters. I am humbled that he accepted the invitation to be a guest on my 8-year YouTube anniversary. I'm very excited for the interview, and I think it's going to be a career highlight for me. Another career highlight I had is when I had Kevin from Tangled Up In Cichlids here on my channel. But to have Bob from Aquatic Rarities on, that's another career highlight and a career milestone in its own right. Now, to make things even bigger, this interview is going to broadcast on location from his tropical fish store. That's right, I will be broadcasting his interview from Aquatic Rarities in Boca Raton, Florida. And his location is only about a half hour away from me. And I don't get to go to his store often because I'm usually working or I do stuff in my personal time. But I look forward to recording this interview for my 8-year YouTube anniversary, and I think it'll be a fun time. So I'm going to be interviewing Bob from his store, and then I'm going to have Bob walk you guys on a tour, showing off some of the fish he has in stock at the time, and it'll be a fun interview. So I can't wait for that. Bob is my first fish keeping guest for my 8-year YouTube anniversary. Speaking of Bob from Aquatic Rarities, yesterday, I placed another order with him. I've been ordering fish with Bob for a couple of years, and I've got to tell you, Bob at Aquatic Rarities does an amazing job at selling high quality fish. A lot of people praise predatory fins. Now, I'm not going to bash or say negative things about predatory fins. I've shopped there a couple of times, and I have a lot of respect for Rod and everybody at Predatory Fins. But Predatory Fins is moving out of state, and they're moving to New York. So, of course, I'm going to support the guy that is local, and that is Bob from Aquatic Rarities. And I've bought from him several times now, and each of the times that I have bought from him, his customer service skills are top notch, and he does a great job. He even delivers the fish to me because I'm only 20 minutes away or a half hour away from him, which is pretty cool. So a couple of weeks ago, I ordered a Orinoco peacock bass. He's about 6 inches and he's doing phenomenal. He is eating tilapia, market shrimp, and earthworms. And I've also got two red hooks and a Stromberky silver dollar, which is a emperor blue hook with a orange belly, which is beautiful. Yesterday, I ordered two more of those orange belly Stromberky silver dollars, another red hook, a pink tail Celsius, a lima shovelnose, and the striped gar Cherison. And I'm going to do an unboxing video, and it'll be uploaded on my YouTube channel this week. And also in that unboxing video, I'm going to hype up the interview that I'm going to do with Bob from his store location that'll air on my 8-year YouTube anniversary. So I think that's going to be a awesome guest interview to celebrate a huge career milestone, 8 years on YouTube. My next special fish keeping guest on my 8-year YouTube anniversary is a fellow fish keeping friend of mine. As many of you guys know, I lived in Western Massachusetts and New England for many years. I would say about more than half my life I spent living in Western Massachusetts. And during that time, I made friends with a lot of tropical fish keepers. This particular guy used to work at a tropical fish store that I frequented. Eventually, he enjoyed the aquarium hobby so much, he created his own business. Now, if you follow the aquatic wetline, you may know of him. His business is called Blue View Aquatics. Now, Blue View Aquatics has been around for many years and is very popular in Western Mass. I am going to welcome Josh Rodriguez, the owner and founder of Blue View Aquatics, to my 8-year YouTube anniversary. It's going to be the first time that Josh and I have talked in person on camera for the first time in many years because the last time I've talked to Josh, I was doing audio podcast many years ago. So this will be his first appearance on my YouTube channel and on camera as well, I believe. And it's going to be a blast. Right now, he is doing work to preserve our oceans and remove all the junk that is floating on our ocean, like debris, empty soda cans, etc. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Blue View Aquatics and how he got into the fish keeping hobby. So basically, it'll be an introduction to my YouTube channel because I plan on working with him again on my YouTube platform and getting him some recognition that he needs and getting him popular with people in Florida and all around the world as well, because I've got viewers not only from the United States, but I've got viewers from Canada, I've got viewers from Russia, I've got viewers from India, Saudi Arabia, Italy. Hello to all my fellow Italians, France, Poland, China, Japan, Thailand, and many more. And that is just the countries off the top of my head. And I found out all those countries, they're on my YouTube analytics. So I'm very proud about that I have a worldwide audience. So it'll be cool to introduce Josh to a worldwide audience as well as Bob from Aquatic Rarities. And I had the honor of introducing Kevin to a worldwide audience as well. So That's going to be awesome. So there you have it. Those are my two fish keeping guests on my 8-year YouTube anniversary on Sunday, March 6th. It's going to be Bob from Aquatic Rarities, and it's also going to be Josh Rodriguez from Blue View Aquatics. And I'm also going to try to get Kevin from Tangled Up In Cichlids to do a guest appearance on my 8-year YouTube anniversary as well. That would be a very fun time as well. All right, guys. So now you guys know who to expect on my 8-year YouTube anniversary. So that's going to be a fun thing. So let's move on to my next topic. And this is going to be based on my personal opinion. And it's based on what I think. So, right now, I'm going to discuss who I think are the best tropical fish keeping YouTubers out there. And these are YouTube channels that I am subscribed to and that I really enjoy. First up, we've got Paul Cafaro. I've been following him since I moved down here to Florida. He does a great job. He's very knowledgeable on some of the fish species that he keeps, and the ones that he doesn't know about, he learns about and he asks experienced aquarium hobbyists to help him out. There's also, I forgot his name now. Uh, Shoot. IFG, Inquisitive Fish Guy. He started off as an African cichlid aquarist, but now he has all sorts of fish, from archer fish to predatory fish to cichlids. I have a lot of respect for IFG, and maybe one day I'll be as big as him, and maybe I'll be able to interview IFG. There's King and Queen Cichlids. I love Scott from King and Queen Cichlids. I watch his content. I may not comment on his videos, but I'm a subscriber and I watch his content. I also like Predatory Fins. Of course, I like Ohio Fish Rescue. And of course, I like um, Waru Joey, although he could be kind of controversial at times. But I do find myself watching King of DIY from time to time, but not as frequently as I used to be. And of course, there's me, Aqua Alex. So those are my favorite fish keeping YouTubers. Who are your favorite fish keeping YouTubers? Let me know in the comments. Also, in the comments, post any tropical fish keeping questions that you have, and also answer my questions in the comments. So I think we're going to wrap up this show really soon because I'm running out of things to talk about. So right now we're going to do what I do every month, and we're going to look at the Tangled Up in Cichlids stock list. So let me get his website up and running so we can check it out. All right, so I got it up, and now I'm going to share the screen. And I'm going to go over some of the cool stuff that is on his stock list at the moment. All right, so now we've got it showing. All right, here we go. Let's put it up there. All right, so here is the Tangled Up in Cichlids stock list, and this is what he currently has in stock right now. My computer is a little bit slow, so you need to bear with me. But as you can see, this is the current week stock list for Tangled Up in Cichlids. So let's see if he has anything cool. So going down the Central American list, pretty much the same thing as last month. So we'll go to South American cichlids. And he's got a large wild-caught Oscar in stock right now. There's a picture on his Instagram and on his Facebook, Tangled Up in Cichlids. Wild-caught Oscars are really rare at this size. So that's pretty cool. He still has Bumblebee Oscars in stock. And he's the only place right now that has Bumblebee Oscars. So I'm going to have to pick up a bumblebee Oscar pretty soon because I love bumblebee Oscars. Look how gorgeous the bumblebee Oscar is. Very, very beautiful. All right. So moving on down, we see that he's got many species of geophagus, and this particular species of geophagus is a species that I'm really interested in getting. So I'll have to consider getting some for my new tank when it arrives. But very cool looking geophagus. That's one of the favorites that I have on his stock list right now. But the Geophagus Seveni is a pretty cool Geophagus as well. Look at those streamers on the Geophagus Seveni. Pretty cool, gorgeous fish. A lot of coloration. So one thing I would tell people if they're planning on getting earth eaters or Geophagus, you want sand. Try to have a sand substrate with Geophagus so they don't get themselves cut or hurt by hard gravel. Severus. This is a very rare species of Severum, but also a very pretty species of Severum. It's called the red tiger Severum. Kind of rare in the aquarium hobby, but a very gorgeous Severum. I'm going to show you the large specimen here. This large specimen right here, very gorgeous. That's a very awesome looking red tiger Severum. He's got umbees in stock for all the aggressive fish lovers out there. He's got the best Altum Angels that you'll ever find in stock right now. His Altum Angels are accustomed to tap water from his area with a higher pH. So if you're thinking about getting Altum Angels, I would recommend getting them from Kevin at tangledupincichlids.com because his Altum Angels come from an area in Colombia where the pH is a little bit higher than other blackwater species. So that is pretty cool. So moving on down, he's got some interesting catfish species, many different types of Corydoras, and I see that he's got some Brocius in stock, which are cool, but personally I like the hog-nosed Brocius a lot better. Pimadellis orinatus, or the orinate pim, a very cool Pimadella catfish. It's a schooling cat, but it grows to 8 to 9 inches. Sometimes it could reach a foot, but I'd expect them to get around 8 or 9 inches, and a very cool looking catfish, if I had to say. One of my favorite Pimadellas, besides the vulture cat and the four-line Pictus, and of course the regular Pictus as well. And I see that he sold the sheephead Paku. I was going to buy him, but he sold that. For those people that are like me and they like Emperor blue hooks that have the orange stomachs and red spots, Kevin at Tangled Up in Cichlids right now has some of the orange spotted and red spotted black bar silver dollars in stock. The one I have is a little bit different. The one that I got from Bob at Aquatic Rarities looks like a red belly pacu because it has an orange belly. But these are the orange spotted variants that come from Colombia that are very, very nice. Now, I could speak on all the different types of Mylius, uh, Tometes, Mylosoma, Mentinus for hours, but I don't want to bore you with the speeches. There's a wide variety of different variants of black bar silver dollars. For example, you've got your Emperor blue hooks, you've got your thin bar, then you've got a mixture almost of a thin bar and a wide bar that comes from Brazil, but it has like a red hook, but like a straight line that could be considered wide or thin, and that one is pretty interesting as well. And then there's the thin bar species that looks more Mentinus shape instead of Mylius, but that's a different topic for another day. Then there's some red hooks, which are a classic aquarium favorite. And if you're a barb fan, these blue mashears are hard to beat. I think blue musheers are a pretty interesting looking fish. So if you have a big aquarium and you want some barbs, this fish is for you. And pretty much that's everything on his stock list that I'm going to mention. There's still the NGT Datnoid. If that's available within 2 or 3 weeks after I get my new aquarium, I think I'm going to purchase him. So if you want an NGT Datnoid, you better act quick because if my taxes come in and he's still available, I'm going to purchase him. And that's going to be a very cool show fish for my 6 foot aquarium that I am getting. All right, folks, and that is the Tangled Up in Cichlids stock list for the month of January. So I had a blast on this month's edition of Fish Keepers Q&A, even though I did not get any live tropical fish questions, probably because I started late due to technical issues, but that's cool. So remember, if you have any tropical fish questions, post them in the comments and I will answer them. I will respond to them as well as answer them on the next month's edition of Fish Keeper Q&A. So that's going to be amazing. You can also answer my Aqua Alex Ask You questions in the comments as well. All right. So before I wrap up this show, I do have an announcement to make regarding next month's and all future Fish Keepers Q&A. It's time to shake things up. And what I mean by that, I am going to give my future question and answers a new name. My Tropical Fish Keepers Q&A will now be known as Ask Aqua Alex. Um, that's going to be the new name, Ask Aqua Alex, and I'll put the month in the title as well. So next month, I'm going to have a supersized Ask Aqua Alex Live because I'm going to provide the stock list for my 3 favorite online fish stores, which are exoticfishshop.net, Aquatic Rarities, and tangledupincichlids.com. For my topics next month, I'm going to talk about online fish stores to support. I'm also going to talk about how to acclimate tropical fish. And I've got a couple of surprises in store for next month's edition of Ask Aqua Alex Live. That's going to be a really fun Fish Keepers Q&A. So make sure to start submitting your questions now. Email any tropical fish questions to Alex Go Yankees Cardinale19 at gmail.com, and I will answer them on next month's Fish Keepers Q&A. Also, any questions that got posted in the comments on this video, I will answer next month. All right, before I go, I would like to announce that tomorrow night I will be doing my next episode in the series, Life in the Amazon, and it will be part 2 of the most popular aquarium species that live in South America. I'll be talking about the black bar silver dollar, the red hook silver dollar. I'll also be talking about Lima shovelnose, flagtail pracholotus, vulture catfish, and more. You'll also see videos of my vulture cat, my flagtails, and my red hook and black bars tomorrow night. So that's going to be awesome. Life in the Amazon, episode 2 of the popular aquarium fish species that live in the Amazon will air tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, right here on the legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. All right, tropical fish keepers, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. Whether you tuned in live or you're watching the replay of this video, I appreciate your view. Make sure you feed your fish high quality tropical fish food and do plenty of water changes. And if you're looking for high quality fish online that you can't find at your tropical fish store, consider aquaticrarities.com, consider tangledupincichlids.com, and consider exoticfishshop.net. This is an episode of Aqua Alex Live here on Legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. I'm Aqua Alex Cardinale, and I thank you so much for watching this episode of Aqua Alex Live. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale, for more awesome Aqua Alex Live videos and all my other content. Have a great night, and thank you for watching. Hey everyone, it's your favorite man, Legendary Alex Cardinale here. Love is in the air. Why is that? Well, Valentine's is right around the corner. I cordially invite you to be a part of the inaugural Valentine's 2022 Bash, hosted by me, the man you love, Legendary Alex Cardinale. Come be a part of the inaugural Valentine's Day Bash live Saturday, February 12th, 2022 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Come celebrate Valentine's in style with me, Legendary Alex Cardinale. I have a lot of fun action planned on Valentine's weekend with the Valentine's Bash. Chef Alex Cardinale is going to make an appearance on the Valentine's Bash. You can see Chef Alex Cardinale make a perfect Valentine's breakfast as he makes red velvet waffles with a delicious cream cheese icing that is going to make your mouth water, really delicious. And I'll also make my homemade chocolate lava cakes. Chef Alex will appear on the Valentine's 2022 Bash, and you can only see Alex make the red velvet waffles with the cream cheese icing and the homemade chocolate lava cakes on Valentine's Bash on Saturday, February 12th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Also planned for the Bash, I will discuss my ideal soulmate. I will discuss fun Valentine's Day activities that you and your partner can do on Valentine's Day and more. So this is going to be an awesome night for love and fun. Happy Valentine's, everybody. Join me live Saturday, February 12th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Yeehaw! Legendary Alex Cardinale here to invite you to a legendary party. It's the biggest party of the year. March 6, 2014, I created this here YouTube channel. On March 6, 2022, I will celebrate my 8th year as a YouTuber. And you're invited to the biggest party of the year. Live, Sunday, March 6, 2022, at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. It's my 8th-year YouTube anniversary, and it airs live exclusively on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. 2 of my 60,000 plus lucky subscribers will win a $80 Texas Roadhouse gift card. All you need to do is be an active subscriber to my channel. That means watch my videos, leave likes, and comments. 8 of my most active subscribers will be put in a drawing, and the 2 that get picked live win the $80 Texas Roadhouse gift card. There will be 4 legendary special guests. 2 of those special guests will be tropical fish keepers. The first confirmed special guest is Bob from Aquatic Rarities in Boca Raton, Florida. Bob is the owner of Aquatic Rarities, aka Malone's Monsters. I am proud to announce the interview will be filmed from his fish store, Aquatic Rarities, which is going to be awesome. There's going to be an appearance from legendary Alex Cardinale, Aqua Alex Cardinale, Chef Alex Cardinale, and WWE fanboy Alex Cardinale. Mick Foley has nothing on me. You will see the 4 personas of Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex Cardinale will show you how to cook a delicious medium rare prime rib, and he'll be baking a Twix cheesecake and Reese's peanut butter cake to celebrate 8 years as a YouTuber. Aqua Alex Cardinale will discuss all the fish species he's kept over the past 8 years, and he'll have other fish keeping surprises for you as well. WWE fanboy Alex Cardinale discusses his dream WWE WrestleMania 38 card. Where will the celebration be held? Where will I broadcast live from? Well, you can only find out if you tune in live. What other surprises will there be? Why will this be the biggest party of the year? You gotta tune in to find out. The 8-year YouTube anniversary is live Sunday, March 6, 2022, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, only on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I'll see you for the biggest party of the year. Make sure you are an active subscriber so that you have a chance to win an $80 Texas Roadhouse gift card on my 8-year YouTube anniversary. That means you like my videos, you leave comments, and you're one of my active subscribers.